A University of Alabama basketball player is facing murder charges.
Yeah, Darius Miles is accused of shooting and killing a woman near the school's football stadium. Authorities say the shooting appears to be the result of an argument. Tuscaloosa police say the shooting happened early Sunday morning near campus. They say Miles, who is a junior reserve forward, shot into another car, killing 23-year-old Jamia Harris. Police say there was no previous relationship and that the shooting stemmed from a minor argument. The university issued a statement saying in part that he, quote, has been removed from campus and is no longer on the team.
A Philadelphia woman visited a police station to find out why she appeared to have a police record despite having done nothing wrong, only to be arrested and put behind bars for nearly a week in a case of mistaken identity. Julie Hudson, a 31-year-old PhD student, visited a Philadelphia police station after discovering that she had a criminal record that led to being repeatedly denied for jobs. According to sources, a surveillance photo from an alleged shoplifting incident near Houston in May of last year was determined to appear similar to a social media image of Hudson. Now, while Hudson has finally been released almost a week after being jailed, her family told sources they were still working to get the mistake removed from her record.
My goodness. In addition to the state sentence a Georgia prison inmate is serving, he'll face 2 decades in federal prison for leading an Augusta area meth ring from behind bars. Now, according to federal prosecutors, Magnum Jelani Neely, an inmate at Dooley State Prison, was sentenced to 278 months in federal prison after previously pleading guilty to conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute 50 grams or more of meth. Neely used contraband phones to contact couriers outside prison to deliver drugs to buyers both inside and outside Georgia prisons. Neely and 3 co-conspirators were indicted in April of 2022. All 4 defendants admitted guilt. And, you know, this is sort of kind of not surprising. I mean, we've heard stories of inmates being able to conduct all kind of business, including fashion shows and rap videos due to these cell phones that they somehow are able to get their hands on. There's also, you know, sometimes lots of talk that usually it's inside help, maybe a corrupt or compromised guard. But, you know, I don't get blown away by these stories too much anymore.
You know, when I hear stories like this, I think about, you know, if those transferable skills that he had were applied differently outside the prison walls, maybe he wouldn't have ended up in prison at all if he had the kind of support that he needed to manage any potential meth addiction he might have had. You know, so many of those thoughts run through my mind when I see stories like that. I mean, you know, it's organized crime inside the walls of the prison, and you know, again, if that intellect, if that skill set was applied differently, imagine the kind of community building that he could be a part of. And so, you know, sad to see, but you know, we also hear so many stories, you know, about, you know, illegal activities happening within the prison walls, you know, but this case like really lays it out. It's pretty explicit.
Yeah, they said it was a huge operation.
Yeah, and the fact that, you know, they pled guilty, you know, like, yeah, we did it. You know, I hope people learn from this. Yeah. That's all I can say. But you know who is learning a lot about the fight for racial justice is Derek Johnson, the NAACP president and CEO, who said that the racial wealth gap is the single greatest barrier to realizing the civil rights dream of the late Martin Luther King Jr. Research indicates that the racial wealth gap between white and black Americans has been widening in recent years. The net worth of an average white household in the U.S. has about 10 times that of an average black household, and that was before the COVID-19 pandemic. Derek Johnson said the NAACP will continue to push forward in the fight to cancel student debt, champion efforts to dismantle white supremacy, and ensure justice for all.
It could cost trillions in reparations to repair the financial harm to black people. Duke University professor of public policy, Dr. William Sandy Darity, was featured at the American Economic Association's annual conference this month. Darity, who is the leading black economist on black wealth and reparations, says it would cost between $13 and $14 trillion for 247 years of exclusion, including being barred from participating in federal government programs that led to significant wealth for others. Darity says ending slavery didn't lead to an equal playing field and says a reparations program could, quote, finally lead to closure on the harms and damages of the nation's racial history.
All right, a reading of Dr. Seuss's book, The Sneetches, comes to an abrupt end when a student points out that the book is about racism. A teacher was reading the book to her third grade class at an Ohio school as a part of NPR's Planet Money podcast. The Sneetches is a species where they were either born with a star on their bellies or no star. The ones with the stars had special privileges, and they treated the characters without stars pretty badly. One of the students commented that it was how white people disrespected black people back then. A school administrator made the decision to stop the reading. She says the book was supposed to be a lesson in economics, but there were other themes unfolding that had not been discussed with parents.
Okay. As we continue to honor the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, we also remember those who made a way for blacks well before King gave his first sermon. And there's one museum in Atlanta that's making sure black history is preserved. Take a look.
There are so many stories up and down Atlanta's historic Auburn Avenue. And 30 years ago, Reese DeForest, known professionally as Reese International, uncovered one of them by accident.
I come up Auburn, turn the corner, and I glance to my left, and I see Madam C.J. Walker on the glass. Slammed on my brakes, parked the car, walked over to the glass window, and just started touching it.
The successful makeup and hairstylist says he instantly knew the significance of that name.
Madam C.J. Walker was an African-American beauty pioneer, early 1900s, that established a system of marketing for her hair care products that went global. She was a global brand. From my perspective, she was the Muhammad Ali of the beauty business. There were other boxers, but none with the vocal, the swag, the style of Muhammad Ali. Madam C.J. Walker basically had that sort of personality.
It turned out this little shop just off Auburn Avenue had once been a licensed Madam C.J. Walker beauty salon. And several years later, searching for a new spot for his own salon, that name on the window called out again.
The space is available. I get the lease and the key. We started stumbling on to beauty tools left here from the 1940s. Just scattered about. Each bit of history that I was getting started to alter the direction that Reese International would take.
And so plans for the Reese International Salon got a makeover. Today, this warm, intimate space is known as the Madam C.J. Walker Museum, a place to honor and preserve the legacies of black beauty pioneers. And there's always music playing here. Just look at all that vinyl, paying homage to groundbreaking black-owned radio station WERD, located in the same building.
You're sitting directly under Studio A.
Under the watchful eyes of trailblazers, the mission here is to educate new generations, like Jonathan Sims, who was so taken with the space, he came on board as a partner.
Because I'm an Atlanta native, growing up and not really knowing about the actual space, I felt like I had missed a part of history. So once I came inside and actually looked around, it was like, this is like a gold mine, like a diamond that most Atlantans in the world needs to know about.
A diamond gleaming in the heart of Atlanta, and a name on the window that continues to inspire.
Amazing. Who knew? You do now. Atlanta's Madam C.J. Walker Museum is open daily. Soulmates, we got to make a trip to Atlanta Nicola, you were just there.
I was just there this weekend, and if I would have known about this museum, I would have gone to check it out.
Right up in there.
I love a good museum experience, right? And for anybody that ever had a chance to take a look at the Madam C.J. Walker series on Netflix, I believe,
very good.
Starring Octavia Spencer, you know, what a great opportunity to learn more about this trailblazer. I mean, she was dynamic, right? And if you think that she's amazing, go watch that series. Your level of fandom over Madam C.J. Walker is going to go up, up, up.
Yeah, get you started for February. You know, it's not just allocated for February.
Right,
This
we celebrate
history is all day,
365.
every day. There
365.
There it is. You can also check out Bessie, the
Bessie Smith?
Yeah, story.
Yeah.
I think that was she, you know, the actress.
Who?
How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh, Viola Davis.
That's it. Yeah. That's a good one too.
Yeah.
As long as you're playing catch up.
And you think about Ma Rainey.
That's it. Bessie Smith was a part
Yes,
of
that's right.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
right. That's right. We just wanted to make sure we got it right for the soulmates.
I know. Coming up, we continue our celebration of Dr. King and his dream.
Plus, a historic black church is being honored. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're watching Fox Soul's Black Report.
So Ma Rainey influenced Bessie Smith. That's it.
To be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, thank God